Hey, listener, if you want to set someone into fight or flight, text them in the morning before 8:30. You text them, have lotion handy for the start of today's podcast.
Or if you don't have a podcast, just say, hey, have lotion ready for when we see each other.
Yes. And if this is going where I think it's going, I prefer coconut oil over lotion, by the way.
You have to be careful with coconut oil if you're using condoms, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That might not be a problem for you, but for all
Wait,
you,
because does it rip the condom or make it?
I think it compromises the integrity of the condom. But yeah, coconut oil, it's a very strong fragrance.
Dude, coconut oil is like, well, you're Greek. You know how like the stereotype for based on that old movie in the 90s, the Greek people, everything is about Windex. Like you put Windex on everything.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yes, I'm a big fan. I feel like coconut oil is for everything. It's for cooking. It's for lubrication. It's for like, I mean, you could use coconut oil for, and it smells good.
Not
It's
for
just a
cleaning.
one and all.
Not good for cleaning.
Yeah, don't clean your prescription eyeglasses with coconut oil.
Your windows.
Yeah.
The movie you're talking about is My Big Fat Greek Wedding,
Yes.
which is a great movie. You know, as a Greek man, that movie hits and it continues to hit. It still holds up.
You are full Greek?
Half Greek.
Half
But
Greek,
they
right.
say that if your dad is Greek, then you're full Greek.
Oh, really? Do they say that?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. So if your mom's Greek, you're only half. If your
Yeah, that's
dad's
right.
Greek, which is kind of telling of Greek culture, no?
Well, it's called patriarchy. It's telling of all cultures.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's different with the Jews, though. If your mom's
If your
Jewish,
mom's Jewish,
you're Jewish.
right.
If your dad's Jewish, I don't know what happens.
So Greece is one of the top 3 places I want to go.
Oh,
Never
well, let
been.
me know when you do. I'll set you up with the itinerary.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean,
I got
of
you. I
course.
got all the little tips and tricks for how to make Greece fun.
Dude, every time I see Greece on social media, the white buildings and the food and the water, the beach, I just like, wow, it looks amazing.
The food's incredible.
I hear people are very welcoming. I hear,
Yeah.
well, maybe I guess it depends,
Yeah.
right?
You know.
Slower pace of life, and
Yep.
yeah, I'm excited. I want to go.
Mediterranean diet. Blue seas.
What is Mediterranean diet?
Meat and veggies
Yeah,
and aubergine, roasted potatoes, lamb,
olive oil and everything.
olive oil and everything.
Yeah,
They've started to be, olive oil is expensive now. Did you notice that?
it is expensive. Do not use olive oil for what we were talking about earlier. The
Oh, you
use
could
of
use you could use olive oil.
you think
What were
it's
you
good?
talking about earlier? Are you talking about having sex?
I was talking about masturbation.
Oh, you could use olive oil.
Really?
A real Greek man would.
Unless you're half Greek. Yeah,
That half is very Greek.
yeah.
That might be something a Greek man would say also. I think you can masturbate with olive oil for sure.
No, dude, you
Okay.
can't. It's all over your hands. It's like you can't get it off.
So is coconut oil.
No, but coconut oil absorbs into your skin. Olive oil doesn't really do that.
Okay. Well, also people like to use coconut oil as lube for sex, and it you probably shouldn't use food oils for sex lubrication because it can change the internal flora of a vagina.
Oh, the chemistry. Yes.
You're not meant to have oil, coconut oil
Yeah,
in there.
true. Good point. Yeah, use the neutral stuff. KY.
Yeah, KY or, some silicone, water-based. There's different types out there. How you doing, John?
I'm doing well. You know, I was gonna open with asking you when your birthday was. I was
Oh,
curious about your how your stars are lined up. And I was gonna do it. But then I got this text that threw me off.
oh yeah. Well, are you on the pattern? Is that what you have?
Is that like asking someone if they're on the spectrum? What is it? What does that mean? Am I on the pattern? I've never heard that before.
That's funny. The Pattern is an app, is
No,
astrology app.
no, dude, I'm not on the pattern, man.
Oh, I thought you were gonna but were you gonna look up my chart?
I was going to, use AI, and I was
Oh,
gonna read
okay.
it to you.
Okay. You're gonna
Y
read me, like, my chart or my daily horoscope or
No, 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 no,
something?
yeah, something. So, when were you born, birthday, where, and what time?
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you that. That's
Why?
yeah,
Why?
no, that's too
What
because people have
happened?
been trying to get my chart forever, and I don't wanna give people my birth date and my birth time and my time and place
Wait
because
a minute,
that's
people have been asking for your chart like that specific?
oh my god, yes.
Why?
People on
What are they gonna do
Instagram
with
are
it?
they're just like, "Please let me look you up," like, because they wanna know everything
Mm,
about me, and
dude, I
especially
have
people who
no
are into
problem
astro
giving people my coordinates.
well, so what's your mother's maiden name, and what was your high school mascot?
Oh, that's different. That's like password shit. That's
Well,
like yeah,
it's kinda connected,
yeah,
your
okay.
birth date, all that stuff, like, I just don't feel comfortable. But here
1973, April 10th, Seoul, Korea, 8:30 AM.
there you go, everybody, look John up. I'm still trying to keep a little air of mystery around my chart.
No.
Though here's what I will say, you could put this into AI. I'm a Virgo sun, Capricorn rising,
Mhm.
and a Cancer moon.
Can you give me a specific astrology chart with personality traits and a forecast for 2025 for a Virgo sun,
Capricorn rising,
Capricorn rising,
and a Cancer moon.
and a Cancer moon?
That should be good enough.
Sean
Alright.
is a thinker, a fixer, a realist. Virgo energy makes Sean's makes you perceptive, analytical, and detail oriented. I find that to be true. Sean notices what other people miss, and Sean naturally wants to improve things himself, his work, the people he cares about. Sean's not cold. He just values practicality over pretense. To the world, Sean comes off as ambitious, grounded, and maybe a little reserved. I don't know if I agree with that.
No.
People see Sean as someone who has his shit together. Sean projects strength, but underneath that, there's a quiet intensity and a drive to build something meaningful slowly and surely. Sean's emotional core, deeply sensitive, loyal. Oh, loyal.
Oh,
And
yeah.
family oriented. Sean might not show it outwardly, thanks to his Capricorn armor, but he feels everything. And his moon in Cancer gives him strong intuition and a need for emotional safety. You protect your family, your people fiercely, and expect the same in return. Interesting. Is that true?
Some of it. I mean, how true is astrology?
Yeah. I mean, some of it hits, some of it, I mean, you have to take it with a grain of salt, I find.
I figure if I, like, said, "Oh, John came," and then I read your reading, my reading to you with your name on it, you might be like, "Oh, some of that hits, some of
Yeah.
that doesn't hit," you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I don't wanna I think it's fun. I'm not gonna base my life decisions
That's
on
exactly how I feel. Yeah,
when I
and I
was
know,
born.
other people are really into it, and that's okay. A lot of people make big decisions based off readings, whether it's astrology or, tarot or whatever, and I think we have to kind of sit with it, take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, and I don't know. So I have a story. My mom used to take me to the Korean fortune teller, every year, growing up as a kid, and the Korean fortune teller, it's, like, based on, other people who have lived the I guess, the day and time you were born, and, it's like, big books. It feels very wise and ancient and traditional, and the fortune teller would always say, "John's gonna be successful after 40." And I remember as a 12-year-old, I was like, "40? What the fuck?" And then I would just wait wait till I'm 40, and then 40 came, and I was like, "Okay, is this it?" And then, I remember putting so much weight on that reading for the new year that, it impacted me tremendously. And my mom now doesn't believe in any of that anymore. She's like, "I wasted so much money on that."
Do you feel like it was true? Do you
So
feel
as a
more
broad stroke, it
successful?
is true because I,
Yeah.
20s, late bloomer, I didn't get my shit together, divorced, had nothing at 35. So it really wasn't until 40 that I started turning the corner. So it was pretty accurate, yeah.
When did you, when did you slip that Rolex on your wrist?
The fake one that you gave me?
No, the real one.
Uh, the real Rolex that burned in the fire, by the way.
Oh,
Oh,
we've got a
look at this.
guest. We've got a
People
guest.
popping in.
Okay. Hi, Lydia. How's it going?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, John, meet Lydia. Lydia is going to lead us. Lydia is the creator behind Face Yoga by Lydia. We're going to
Face
do
yoga.
a very short face yoga. That's right. Routine. Lydia, how are you?
I am good, thank you. I'm here. It's exciting.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And will you tell us just like a brief introduction of what you do and why you're here?
Yeah, so I'm a yoga teacher primarily, but I work with all different parts of the body. And I suppose over the years of working with muscles and the body and workouts, I realized that there was this really unusual thing that had happened, which is that we've started to exercise our bodies from here down and then just put lotion on our face and forget that our muscles carry on through our neck and all the way up into our face. And at the same time as this is happening, there's been this revolution in sort of anti-aging and a feeling that we need to do things to ourselves because as we age, we're somehow not enough. And so I started working with the muscles of the face and working with my clients to keep the muscles of the face working and healthy so that you look beautiful, but also you feel good and you have functioning muscles on your face.
I gotta
Wow.
say, your face looks very smooth and supple and flexible and
Thank you, Sean. I work hard. I do face
youthful.
yoga 3 times a week.
John and I are very concerned. I can't stop thinking about my 11s. Every time I look at myself, I'm like, stop frowning, like, why am I frowning so much? And so John and I talk a lot about Botox and facial aging. And John's like, he does this thing with a pencil. You have a chopstick?
I do this thing with the chopstick because, but it has to do with the eyelids as I get more droopy. Um, my eyes are no longer kind of kissing in the corners. They're becoming like, and so I take a chopstick and I retrace my eyelids. Something I've been doing since 10 years old when I first came to America and was trying to be white.
Wow. There's
Yeah.
so much to unpack there, really, isn't there?
Yeah, that's a deeper thing than just
We don't
face
have
yoga.
time for that.
Yeah, that's a whole different, yeah.
But
But
Lydia was
there's
gonna.
loads of things that you can do about that exact thing. Ptosis is what it's called, which is when, gravity is working on our whole body. Essentially, I think you probably work out, you go to the gym, you recognize that things start to go south. Once we get over a certain age, things start to go south and gravity is doing its work. And so we go to the gym and things perk back up again and they look a little bit better. And the same thing's happening in our face. It's just that we haven't, somehow there's this disconnect between understanding that the muscles in our face need the exact same things that the muscles in our bodies need. The thing about the face that's kind of interesting is that there's a much bigger fat padding between the skin and the muscle in the rest of our body, depending on our body and where in the body we're talking about, than the face. The muscle and the skin nearly connect directly into each other. So when those muscles sag, they drag the skin down with it. And then we get the appearance of we've lost the elasticity in our skin. But actually, it's just that the muscles themselves have lost volume. So if we then exercise those muscles, plump them back up, just like we would with our butts in the gym, then they lift up and they pull the skin taut. So you see the appearance of those fine lines and wrinkles much less.
Um, the proof of this is when you do a video laying down, you look so much better than when you do a video upright and things are sagging. I
Yeah,
noticed.
it's so true. And
Yeah.
and also the other thing is we want things like, all of the skin creams and all of those sort of that
Mhm.
marketing hype that's been sold to us, and especially as women, is all about we need more collagen, we need more elastin, all these things are gone and they've disappeared. Once you're over 25, forget about it. There's nothing you can do. And just put this amazing, very expensive cream on and boom. No, like we need to exercise the muscles of our face. We need to move the tissues and the fascia to keep it working. And a really interesting thing is that the skin and the muscles attached to the bones of our face by these tiny little hooks. I don't know if you guys have burrs in America. They're like little cleavers. They stick to your skin when you go for a hike. They're like little sticky plants that stick to you, and they have
We
these
have
little
burrs.
tiny hooks.
Yeah.
You have
We
them?
have burrs. Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like that, little tiny hooks between the muscles and your bones. And when we exercise those muscles, so when we don't have Botox or those kinds of things, when we have functioning muscles, it's constantly tugging on the bones, and that's creating the bones to stay strong, to hold their shape, to keep the architecture of the face. But when we have, maybe we had Parkinson's, or we have Bell's palsy, we've had a stroke, or we use Botox, we've frozen those muscles, they're not tugging on those bones, and that's when we get that kind of collapse of the face shape that can happen into our older age. So we really want to be able to have these really functioning muscles, so that we look better, but also so that they do the function that they're meant to do.
I never even thought about this. I'd never thought about exercising my face. So you're going to lead us through, like, Lydia has so much that she can offer, and we had to like narrow it down to just like the 11s and like the
Wow.
forehead area. So if you're driving, don't do this. Do not like pull over. Also, this is a great like plug for if you're not watching the podcast on Spotify. This is the episode to watch it on Spotify, because Lydia is gonna walk us through like a short session that we can do on our own. Here's the problem though, and then I want to just jump right into it. It's very hard for me to commit to a routine that isn't just going to the gym. Like,
Hmm.
John, do you stretch?
No.
Right.
Emotionally, only emotionally. Physically, I that's something I struggle with. Yeah.
Right. So we're
Yeah.
not stretching. It's hard to add a new routine, but also like would we willing to go do Botox, but not willing to spend 5 minutes a day to like, rejuvenate my face. So
Well, I was gonna
just
ask Lydia, is there a pill I could take so we don't have to do this whole thing,
what about a
Mm,
cream
no. No, I mean,
No.
okay.
with
So think of
collagen?
it this way, right? If your legs went really flabby, would you just go buy a cream and pot it on and go,
Right.
boom? No, right? We have to put some exercise in. And I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys, as therapists, talk to your clients all the time about going, when we put effort in, we much more appreciate the reward of that thing. So it is,
Mm.
and also, there is that same like release of dopamine and oxytocin and all those great things when we work with the muscles in our face. But maybe a thing that might help you to commit to it is that if you are committed to a gym routine and you're maybe suffering with chronic neck tension, or you constantly have tight shoulders, or you can't quite work out the cricks in your back, or different things like that, it's worth noting that the fascial trains run from the heel of your feet all the way up over your back into the front of your head. So a lot of people who have chronic tension that they can't release, chronic pain that they can't release, or muscles that aren't functioning to their optimum, it's because they're not working the end range of those muscles. And the end range of those
Mhm.
muscles are in your face.
Let's work those muscles real quick, and then we
Let's
have
do it.
to let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
ready.
So I'm going to guide you through two exercises. So two actual face yoga poses. And that's like the workout that you would do in the gym. And then I'm going to show you one kind of instant massage trick that you can do to work on the fascia that will really quickly correct where your eyebrows are in your face, which will open up your eyes. And that's what you need the lotion for. So the first two, we're not going to use lotion. The first one is very much for lifting the eyebrows so that you don't have sagging eyelids, so that you have this more open space. It's also going to work on the frontalis muscle, which is the big major muscle of the forehead. So you're going to take your palms and you're going to place them on your head right above your eyebrows. You're going to press back into the forehead and lift the forehead up and back towards your hairline as if you're lifting your eyebrows up. You're then going to look down towards the ground with only your eyes, so the head stays in the same place. And then you're going to squeeze your eyes as shut as they possibly can, hold against the resistance you've created, and then fling them open again. And you're going to do that 10 times. So looking down at the ground, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Keep going. And as you're going, you should feel that you've got resistance in the area around the whole of the eyes there. 2 more. And then release and just drop your hands. Give your shoulders a little wiggle. So that's one set. You need to do that whole sequence 2 more times. So there's 3 reps of everything that you're doing there.
That was hard.
Could you feel the work?
Yeah, that was hard.
So
And
obviously
also it's just awkward because we're not used to this. We don't play with our faces, so this is all kind of new.
it's new, and it's like with anything,
Yeah.
when you're trying to activate an individual muscle group, it's really hard to isolate. One of the things that you can do is do this exercise whilst lying down in bed. So it's one of the ones I really like because people can do it first thing in the morning, last thing at night, lying on your back. And actually gravity helps with that because as you place your hands on your head and you drop them back, gravity will drop your hands back towards the hairline, adding that extra load. And you guys get to choose how much load or not you add into that. And that's how you up the ante, I guess. Like do it a couple of times, gets a little bit easier, and then you can add more load by pressing back more. The second one that we're going to do is we're going to take our index fingers in a little like an N shape, N for Nora, and you're going to place that. I'm just going to show you the one hand first and then we'll do both. You're going to place it right above the eyebrow. So I'm not on the eyebrow hair, I'm right above it, mimicking the eyebrow. And then for this one, I'm going to press back into my forehead and down. So I'm dragging my eyebrow down towards my eyes. So let's do both at the same time. And then you're going to rest your thumbs on your cheekbones just so that you've got somewhere for them to rest. So press back, draw down. And now from here, using your index fingers as a weight, just using the eyebrow muscle, push the index fingers up. So the index fingers are your weight in the gym. Your eyebrows are like your biceps, lifting the muscles. So we're going to do 10. 1, 2, 3, count in your head, all the way up to 10. And I want you to try and hone in on the muscle that's directly under your fingers. Again, you're getting to choose how much weight you put into that area. And when you get to 10, you're going to hold at 10 with the eyebrows lifted and the fingers pulling down. And you're going to hold as high as you can. So really activate that muscle. And at the same time, try to relax all the rest of the muscles of the face, neck, and shoulders. You can breathe through your nose. Hold.
To our editor, this is the screenshot, by the way, for this episode. We want to capture this straight. This is the one.
Hold. And then release. And wiggle out your shoulders again. Can you, if you close
Dude,
your
I'm
eyes now, are
sweating.
you aware of where that muscle is above your brows?
Yeah, 100%.
So what we're doing
Wow.
there, a lot of people might say, well, I'm doing that and I'm wrinkling my forehead muscle. So maybe that's going to make more wrinkles. But we have to come back to that remembrance, which is as we plump out that muscle, the frontalis muscle that we're working, it gets bigger, it pulls the skin taut, and then we don't see those wrinkles so much. So again, that was 1 rep. We're going to do 2 more of those reps when you're doing it at home. So you want to work the muscles to fatigue. Can I show you one more thing?
Yes.
Okay,
Is
so
this
you're
the
going to get
lotion
your
thing?
lotion and just apply it to the area on your forehead because we're talking about forehead and preventative things instead of Botox today. So just apply, you just need a little bit there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do one side and I'm going to show you the difference in the 2 eyebrows at the end because this is going to be really good for people who have sagging eyelids, the brow is getting a little bit heavy there, maybe you get dark circles, eye bags, those kind of things. So we're going to take a finger, let's not use the middle one, let's use an index finger right into the highest point of the eyebrow and we're going to press in and lift up as if you're giving yourself a little eyebrow lift and you're going to take little micro circles there without lifting your finger off the skin, just working into that area. So what we're doing here is stimulating the muscle and also the fascia. So we can train our muscles to move in the direction that we want them to move. We're just reminding them like, no, you don't go down there. Like, you're going up here. Now you're going to take your fingers of the other hand above the eyebrow. And as we go up, we're going to rake and wriggle those fingers and follow with the bottom set of hands. So for this one, you kind of have to watch the video. So raking up and pressing up and pushing up with the bottom hand. And we're going to do that 3 or 4 times in a direct upwards motion. So you're pulling with the top hand, pressing and lifting with the bottom hand, wriggling from side to side. And once you've done that, we're going to go to the side. So we're using the flat of our hands, lifting and dragging on a diagonal line up above the temple towards the highest diagonal point of your head. And then we're just going to come back to that first one, pressing into that acupressure point there at the eyebrow. Well done. You're both doing great. And then we're going to wiggle one last time. All the way up, pulling and lifting. So this is just a reminder to the skin. This is where we want it to go. And then look. See how high one eyebrow is compared to the other? It's like...
I've got a mild higher eyebrow.
So the more we work those muscles, I think it's like when you work with a kid or a toddler, you're kind of gently and kindly reminding all the time, like, no, come back here, don't go to the road. Over here, don't go to the road. This is what we're doing with the muscles. We're working on them and we're going, no, this is where you sit. You're right up here and you're nice and open. And then there's all this beautiful circulation, lymphatic drainage, collagen, elastin production, all this good stuff that we really want for the skin to be really plump and juicy and hydrated, and all those muscles to work really well.
Look, my 11s are gone.
How many sessions would you say of face yoga before you start seeing any kind of results? I'm
Face
assuming
yoga is a
a lot
bit
of
like
sessions now.
brushing your teeth. You want to do it every day, but it's only
Hmm.
2 minutes,
Yeah.
2 minutes a day, because they're little tiny muscles,
Yeah.
so you don't need to work them the same amount. If you did 2 minutes every day for like a month, you're going to notice a huge difference. Once it gets to 6 weeks, it's a significant difference. I've had clients who've gone to reunions and all their friends have gone, "Oh my God, who's your plastic surgeon?" And the only thing that they've been doing is face yoga. So it can make a massive difference. It's just about, like you were talking about, commitment, but it's like any routine. You start a little bit at a time. Anything that you're doing is bigger than what you were doing before. It's like low hanging fruit. You just start a little bit at a time. And when you start seeing those results, then you're like, okay, maybe I'm really going to get addicted to this and I'm going to do it all the time.
Lydia, thank you so much. Everybody, go follow Face Yoga with Lydia on Instagram. We'll have your website in the show notes. You have all these tutorials and little things that we can do that are not medical intervention. They're self massage and they
Yeah.
really help. So thank you so much for coming.
My
Lydia,
pleasure.
thank you so much. Great meeting you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Be well.
Ciao.
Wow, Sean.
Can you feel the muscles?
Yeah, and I think it's because because we never touch our face like that. I think if you do this, you're gonna see a difference really quickly, and then it's gonna require a lot of reps to maintain. It seems like.
I think women touch their face a lot because they actually wash their face and moisturize their face and put
Unlike
sunscreen on
men,
their
yeah.
face. I have just now at 42 started putting sunscreen on a regular basis
Wow.
because I want to, because that's the number one thing I think that you can do to prevent, looking older than I want to.
My favorite part of this segment is just the fact that we're two dudes talking about, you know, wrinkles and face muscles and this kind of stuff, which men don't talk about, and especially in locker rooms, right?
Aging. Men
Aging.
don't talk about aging.
I don't think they do. Maybe to their partners, but usually that's not the conversation at the golf course, you know?
The golf course. I mean, you don't play golf, and I've never seen you in a locker room.
A locker room is a term,
Well,
Sean.
it's also a place.
It's also a place, but it's where people bump chests and talk about sports, and or not people, but men specifically, and how much they could squat and all that. And so that space doesn't usually promote face yoga conversations or how
No,
old
but
we're
but
getting.
I do wanna address this. You know how few men actually spend time in locker rooms? Like, there's a lot of men that are not doing sports, do not work out,
Right, right.
do not play golf.
Yeah,
Like, they
absolutely.
they are not in those, like, active spaces.
And I
I
think
think when
now
you
more
say
than
in
ever.
locker rooms, it excludes this huge swath of the population that doesn't
Oh,
really understand or had that experience of, like, I didn't play sports in high school,
right.
so I never had the locker room. You keep talking about locker rooms.
And you're like, "What are you talking about?"
I mean, I change at the gym sometimes, but, like, that's
Right.
no one's snapping towels and saying "nice cock" or anything, you know?
Man, is that dating me? Is the term "the locker room," is that an '80s term that I'm pulling from? Or is it just because, I've just been in fitness for so long? And also, I didn't play, but I was on the team as far as football in high school, so, and also I joined the fraternity, so I've been in locker rooms my entire life as a
What do you
dude.
mean you didn't play, but you were on the team? What were you doing? Were
I
you the
was
water
warming the
boy?
bench.
You're a bench warmer, okay.
Yes, I made one tackle, and they called it the Korean finger tackle, and, I grabbed someone's face mask, I was terrified, and I swung around the person like a tetherball, and that's how he went down, and they made
Is
fun
that
of me.
legal? Is that a legal
No, it
football
was it
move?
was not illegal.
You got flagged for that?
I was like a dude, I was like a buck 50. Oh, no, it's like a buck 40, I was very just, petite, small, and, I did not play, I was a total bench warmer, but anyway,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry to hear that. That must
yeah.
have been hard.
It was hard, and I think a lot of me going aggro in the speaking of locker rooms is is tied to my trying to make up for, warming the bench in high school probably.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I really wish you'd had, like, maybe, like, the experience that most people who play high school sports wanna have is to, like, be active and, like, a part of the team and, like,
Yeah,
scoring touchdowns
yeah, getting laid.
and
That didn't happen either.
yeah, well, I'm sorry, you're making up for it now, I guess.
Yeah, I'm good now, but, I'm a late bloomer.
It
Anyway,
sounds was high school hard for you?
no, it was, I was part of the, like, kind of the cool kids, I don't know, high school was weird. I loved high school, it was fun, it was very kind of, it was very, all-American, I told you, football games, very mild, no drugs, no gangs. This is Glendale in the '90s, and, our definition of fun was, like, doing a routine on the talent show or, taking our trucks, into Brand Park, stuff like that. We didn't do anything crazy. We were very mild, very, happy days.
Yeah. So you had
Yeah.
friends, you were part of
Yeah, I didn't get picked on
like
or bullied. I
cool
was part
kids
of
of
the
yeah.
yeah, I just didn't play on the football team.
I think we talked about this. We had a very different high school
Yeah,
experience.
you had a very yeah, you were other side of
Um,
the tracks.
Other side of the tracks, yeah, back parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so locker rooms, yeah, I feel like I just don't I don't identify with knowing what happens in locker rooms, but it is a trope, right? And we can extrapolate what happens in there.
What about, like, men in, like, say, like, the financial, like, stockbrokers and stuff, or any kind of, like, corner office, water cooler, that's also, to me, a version of, quote, unquote,
Yeah,
"the locker
yeah.
room," you
It
know?
is. They play squash, but they do it's funny, that's funny you mentioned that because I have a friend that I know from AA, and when I got sober in San Francisco, I was working downtown in the financial district, and I went to this meeting called PAX, which was, for police officers and firemen. At the very beginning, that's what in the '60s or something, it was for police officers and firemen. And then it just, evolved into sort of like lawyers, doctors, and financial brokers and stuff. And that's when I got sober there, and I was wearing, like, cut off jean shorts and tank tops, and I was, like, kind of the wild kid there. But there was a man there, Mike, who used to say, he used to share about once he went into a locker room at, like, Equinox Gym with guys that he's known for years. And someone goes, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?" He goes, "Not good, not good. My daughter's not doing great. My mom is sick. My wife is, cheating on me or something." And he said they looked horrified that someone was sharing so vulnerably and
Oh, in that
emotionally
space.
in
Right,
that space.
right.
And they just didn't know what to do. And they're like, well, take care,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
turned around and walked away.
Yeah.
So to your point, that's for the most part not what's happening in these locker rooms. They're
Yes, so the firefighters, police officers, also military, huge locker rooms, like, huge spaces for, males to, posture, not be vulnerable, all of
yeah.
that stuff. Yeah.
Who's chest bumping though, other than if you're in college? Like, an adult? Like 2 40-year-olds chest bumping?
Do I need to retire some of my
No, no, no,
terminology?
no, no, I'm just this is a conversation, like, be kinda
So so
curious.
the chest bumping is an exaggeration, so it's visual. So,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
most people are not chest bumping, but when I say chest bumping, it's an exaggeration. You get the point, right?
There's a lot of fist bumping. I do fist bump. I'm a big
Right, so
fist
so the fist bump, people do fist bump, so when you say fist bump, it's a little lukewarm, but if you say chest bump, you're getting your point across, you're
Also,
overextending.
if you think about it, chest bumping is very
It
intimate,
can be, it can
we're
be. A
very
a
close.
soft a soft chest bump.
I mean, no, but it's like you're almost kissing at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, yeah, you're saying 2 men, right,
It's actually the
right.
most homoerotic thing that
It
2
is, it
straight
can
men,
be.
in a locker room can do.
Right, right, right. Without your shirts, we should do that today. I wanna see you at the gym today. Let's chest bump
Are you
instead of
going?
I'm gonna try and make it at 12:30.
Nice, I'll see you there. I'm
Alright.
I'm, recovering from a cold, actually, but,
Mm.
I think I'm okay.
They say that when you have a cold, it's actually great to work out. There's a misconception that if you are mildly sick, that you should not move.
Yeah.
And
Well, I've been not moving for 3 days, and I'm kinda tired of it, so,
oh, okay.
um, so what do you wanna talk about actually, this is interesting. I posted that video last week of us just the clip of us talking about women's, like,
Oh,
orgasm,
yeah,
arousal,
yeah.
like
Got a lot of
yeah.
activity I saw.
A lot of activity, most of it positive as
Yeah.
usual. A handful of people saying, "Where's the woman in this conversation?" why are these two guys mansplaining to us women's sexuality? Like, and I go, well, and I obviously couldn't help myself but reply, and I look very defensive in the replies, but I was like, all we were doing was sharing stats and data of studies that were collected. And some people took offense to it, that like, if we're going to be talking about women and about their sexuality, that we need to have a woman present. So we need like a woman present in the room all the time now to make sure we're not mansplaining.
So where's the line between just us expressing or promoting or encouraging and mansplaining? I feel like if we're not saying you should do this, which then I think that falls into maybe possibly mansplaining. If we're sharing our experiences and our point of view, I don't know if that's mansplaining.
I don't think it is mansplaining.
No,
Also, mansplaining is like telling someone who has more experience than you what the truth is without any sort of curiosity, right? And I don't
right.
think we were doing that. Um, I do think that people kind of get triggered
I think just
when,
two men talking about anything women related or women's bodies, that kind of stuff, it's already activating.
yeah. But the
Yeah.
fact that we're having the conversation, I think, is very positive.
I agree. I mean, that's the point of this. Hey, can I share something with you? A couple years ago, uh, I reposted something, and it was super simple. It just said in typewriter font, like non-negotiable number 5, no beige underwear.
Uh huh.
And I was saying I don't like beige underwear, right? I posted that.
Yeah.
Hours later, friends text me. They're like, "Dude, go look at your feed." I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Go look at your feed." I look at my feed. Oh my god, John, this is the closest I've gone to being canceled. The hate on my feed, like, who the fuck are you to tell women what to and
Yeah.
listen, I got it. I understand, I actually agree. Maybe if I worded it differently, like, maybe if I said it's, my preference or whatever, but just the fact, I mean, there's so many layers to this whole idea of beige underwear. Because 'cause I'm also, like, saying I'm also implying that you should be sexy, that your underwear should be sexy,
Yeah.
right?
For
Oh,
me,
what's that?
for me, be sexy for me.
Yeah, but I was kind of right. So tons of just, people offended, right? And I had to sit with this. Now what's interesting about this is I posted this, I think 2000, like, 10 or not 2010, maybe 2000s, like, 15, and it got nothing but laughs.
Uh huh.
Women were laughing at it, and they weren't offended, and so I'm sharing this because times have definitely changed
Yeah.
because,
Things change.
yeah, and listen, I sat with and I was like, "Oh, they're right." I mean, I could see how that could land weird, and that wasn't my intention, but, yeah, it was, a man trying to tell, quote, unquote, "women" what kind of underwear they should wear, which wasn't my intention, but it came off that way, and so, holy shit, man, I've never gotten so much hate in my life.
How did it feel?
I apologize. How did it feel? Comments matter. I think you know this. They impact us. Um, I gotta, and this is why I stay out of the DMs unless it's something I need to take responsibility for. So if it's that much hate, then they're right. Like there's something happening where the
Yeah.
collective,
You're
you know
on
what I'm
the wrong
saying?
side. Yeah. Yeah. For
Yeah,
sure.
you have to look at yourself for sure. If I just ignored it, that's now me not willing to look at something. Um, I got a DM from a dude in Costa Rica because I guess he saw a video that I might be coming to Costa Rica, or we are coming to Costa Rica, and he said, "Don't come here, you beta male," or he
I
like
saw
said
that. I
something.
saw that. I saw that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
saw
said
that.
that to you,
Yeah.
and it's one comment. I don't look at comments, dude. It was like a stone in my shoe all day. It's just one comment, stranger. I don't know this guy, but it. I just the whole day. It fucked up my whole day because I allowed it to, and that's the power of social media and comments, and how people could get under your skin.
I'm curious how it made you feel. Both the hate around the beige underwear and this guy. What was the feeling? Not a rock in your shoe.
A rocket. Well, this guy made me angry. I wanted to fight him. I
Yeah.
don't know, something about him calling me a beta male and, like, kind of don't come to Costa Rica. That made me feel very confrontational. Um, and then I responded. I don't know if I responded in a mature way, but I said,
No,
"Wow,
you didn't.
no."
No, you didn't.
I
You
said,
responded. You said,
I'm
something
glad you're a
about like,
dad.
oh, it's really great that you're a father.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
guess you must have looked at his profile to see that he was a dad.
yeah. Well, listen, man. I mean, yeah, I guess that's under below the belt. That was yeah,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
yeah,
It's way more. It's way milder than what he said. Calling you a beta male, stay out of Costa Rica. He's like gatekeeping Costa Rica. Who the fuck is he?
yeah. But my comment I think can hurt more because now I'm saying you're a dad and look at the way you're carrying yourself. And then of
No,
course, yeah,
no way.
no.
There's no fucking way. The guy doesn't care. If you're going around calling people beta males and insulting them on the internet, your reply, your clapback, it was nothing to him. Nothing.
Well, I don't want to hear that, Sean. I want to
Sorry.
know
The
that. I want to
best you
know
could
that I
do
turned the knife.
that. I'm sorry. Well, that
Nah.
wasn't it. That wasn't it. I'm sorry.
Fuck. Now I see. I
It's
feel like a
nice.
bench
It's
warmer.
cool that you're a
Okay.
dad is not
Yeah.
the clapback that you thought it was. No, but it's not also as bad
Jeez.
as you thought it was.
I thought I
I
was
think
smart.
the best thing in those scenarios is to just ignore it.
No, I know.
Is
I
no.
usually do. I see, but see, some people get in, and they break through, and once in a while, and then you catch a comment like that, and then it fucks with you. The beige underwear, which was much bigger, that impacted me more. So the beige underwear didn't make me mad. It made me question, um, like it made me like sad and made me want to take responsibility. Also, it made me realize today is not yesterday, and things that we could get away with in 2015, we can't today. So, John, be careful what you say. So like it checked me. It checked me.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
were
this guy
sad
just
or
activated me.
embarrassed?
What's
Were you
that?
sad? Were you sad? Sad about what? Sad that you'd offended women? I would have
Yeah,
been more
I was
I would have been embarrassed.
yeah, embarrassed, sad, all of it kind of mixed. I was defensive. Like, what the fuck? I posted this in 2015. I got laughs, and also I was very defensive because I was like, that's my personal opinion. Why can't I say that? It's my platform. I don't like beige underwear. And I'm exaggerating by saying it's non-negotiable. Obviously, it's not. But that's my opinion. I mean, what's the difference between that or saying I like this song? So that my first knee jerk was defense, and then I sat with it and I was like, yeah, here's another man telling women, um, basically, and I think this is what hit or angered most women is you're telling me that my underwear has to be sexy. You're objectifying me. You're contributing to that pot, and
Yeah.
that I got that. That made sense to me.
Well, it's interesting because the feedback that I got about sharing the stats for women's arousals and like the length that penetrative sex length among heterosexual couples, people were saying like you need to ask women, you need to ask a
Right, right,
woman, and
right.
it's like okay, well then I ask one woman, and she's like, oh no, it takes me 12 minutes. And then I go, okay, well, let me ask another woman. And she goes, it takes me 30 minutes. And here's the complex series of things that will really do it for me. And it's like, okay, how is that any more representative? That's
Right.
just representative of two women, right? So
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
like, don't speak for me. It takes me less time to orgasm. And then someone was like, well, it takes me more time to orgasm. And I was like, that's right. And the average is this time, right?
Yeah.
Like we take all of the data and this is the average. Like we can't have a conversation with every woman. But some women took it like they really took offense to the fact that I was saying that the average time for a woman's arousal or whatever is 20 minutes.
What's interesting is I think if it was two women talking about, men orgasms, we would actually look at them like experts. I don't know if we would be like, "Well, get a man in the room."
That's
Unless
not
they're
how I
unless they're
come.
like shaming us or saying things that were not good.
That's not how I come. I come differently. Like, yeah, I know you're all unique. We all come differently, but
Yeah,
at the same
yeah,
time, we all kind of come the same,
yeah.
like there are processes in place here, like physiologically. Um, but I don't know. I don't know if two women speaking about men's orgasms, I would naturally see them as experts because I don't think I'm claiming to be an expert on women's sexuality.
Well, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I wouldn't be like, "Let me get in the room." Unless they're just broad strokes, huge generalizations and stating things I didn't think were true. If they were just having a curious conversation about men's orgasms, I would be like, "That's great that they're even talking about it."
I think the issue is two men talking about women.
Yeah, that's the
It's
issue.
like,
That
oh, two
already is already you can't do that.
two straight guys with a podcast. Do we need another podcast with two straight guys talking about?
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, okay, thank you. Mansplaining, fragile male ego. Do you want to hear something funny, or should we just go to a question? I'll share something funny with you. This came up yesterday in conversation. I had kind of forgotten about this, but I think you might get a kick out of it. Someone asked me if I'd ever had threesome before,
Mm,
and I have had a few threesomes, but with a man and a woman, right? So 2 men and a
mhm,
woman. So
mhm.
those are the threesomes that I have had, and that reminded me that my friend and I at one time, we created an OkCupid profile
Your
called
friend male or female?
a male friend
Right.
called Play Pals in San
Oh,
Francisco,
yeah, that makes sense.
offering a threesome experience to a woman.
Wow.
So photos of us,
Wow,
what we were
Sha
offering.
why is this not surprising at all, by the
I thought
way?
you would get a kick out of it,
I am getting a kick out of it. Yeah, tell me more.
we went through with it once. We went we, like, met up at a bar near my house, and if the vibes were okay, we were gonna, like, transition.
What if one of you was attracted to the woman, but one of you weren't? Do you just take one for the team? Like, how everything had to be firing in all cylinders for this to
Yeah, I
happen?
think
Yeah.
everybody had to be into it.
Now, what's the exchange between you and your friend?
Well,
Not a lot of chest bumping. Are you guys also doing stuff with each other?
so he couldn't get hard, and the joke is that, he wouldn't get hard out of principle because getting hard meant that
It was gay.
getting hard with another man in the room meant that he was gay.
But he's
Uh,
signing how do you if you're signing up for this, wouldn't he think like, "Okay, wouldn't he play it out in his head? We're gonna be naked, there's gonna be we might
I
touch each
think
other?" Like, what?
well, yeah, but you just playing it out in your head doesn't mean, that that's how it's gonna unfold in person.
Yeah, that's true.
Things can be different,
Yeah.
and, I was excited the whole time. There was no problem. I didn't have a problem getting hard. I was, like, into it. He was unable to participate in certain ways. He was obviously able to do other things, and
Did
so
you
then
guys touch each other? You and your
I
friend?
I
That's what I want that's what everyone wants to know. Everyone is
I
is wanting to know what you did with him because it's obvious what you guys did with her.
I blew him a little bit.
So when you say 2 heterosexual men, I think it's a little misleading because you have
It's a
stories
little
like
I
that.
mean, I'm straight-ish. It's like monogamish, I'm
I
straight-ish, you
yes,
know?
okay, I wanna clarify this because we've been down this road before, and I also don't wanna put any labels on you. I think you're one of the most kind of fluid, beings that I know, which I think is very attractive, but you're definitely not heterosexual 100%. You are ish.
No,
You're ish.
John, no one is 100% heterosexual.
Oh, maybe that's true. Okay,
It's a
maybe that's true.
spectrum, right?
Okay,
There's a
but
spectrum called the Kinsey scale. It's 1 to 5, and 1 is like, I don't one side is mostly and the other side is, mostly heterosexual, mostly homosexual, and everybody falls on a spectrum. You might be pretty far on one side, but even then, you know, you might have a thought, a gay thought or a homosexual thought, and then that kinda nudges you into the spectrum. So, yeah, it's a spectrum, and I'm not fully on one side. I blew him just to see. I was like, "You know what? Let me just try." And I was like, "Are you into this?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Because we were
wait,
like
can I also say well, you guys are friends, though. You guys are
we're
friends.
still friends to this day. Like,
Wow, so
we
it
hang
didn't
out.
make it weird at all?
Didn't I mean, he kind of brings it up every now and then. He'll bring it up, um, about how I give bad blowjobs because I couldn't get him hard.
Well, you've always said that it feels like an elbow, so I can't imagine with that comment it's gonna be any, passion. You
Yeah.
feel like it feels like an elbow,
Well,
yeah.
it's hard to be passionately give your friend a blowjob.
Yeah, I mean, so this isn't even a gay thing, it's like, because you guys are friends already, I think the dynamic between you 2 would be more in awkward than the other person. It's almost like, she's the barrier or the bridge between you 2 because I think that would be weird.
Well, but it wasn't like, "Oh, we need this woman here for us to have a homosexual experience," and that, her presence makes it straight. It was just that, like, we were all fucking around and Brian couldn't get
Just say his address while you're at it. Just say his
Yeah, yeah,
address and where
and
he lives.
no, his birth date and his time of
Yeah,
birth,
yeah.
um, couldn't get hard, and I was like, "Can I try sucking you off or something? Like, maybe that'll help?" It did not help.
Yeah, you also asked him that? You also said, "Can I, do
Well,
this?"
yeah, of course, you can't just go for it without asking. I
Oh
mean, you
my
gotta read the
god.
room a little bit. Um,
I can't I mean, I get the permission piece, and I don't think you, like, go for it. You're not aggressive, but there's a dance, there's a cadence, there's energy. You don't really have to announce, like,
oh,
you
you
know,
do. Consent, John, again, this is a conversation about consent.
"Oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna get
yes,
bashed."
you can dance non-verbally for sure, but when you're having, like, a strange sexual encounter for the first time, we don't have to beat around the bush here. We don't have to play games. We could just be like, "I'd really love for you to blow me right now." And they could be like, "Cool, I would love that."
I don't know. Listen, I've talked to a woman about this. I've
Yeah.
talked to women about this when we had this, and she's like, "John, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. If someone's gonna ask me if for permission to kiss me, I'm not interested."
John,
But
talk to more than one woman.
no,
Hey,
of
you know
course.
what? We can't talk about women right
Oh,
now.
that's right. No, there's
Yeah.
none in the room. But I do agree with you with the permission thing, but I think I'm a little old school. Anyway, so it wasn't weird. You guys had the thing, and then did she have a good time?
I think she had a great time. Yeah.
I mean, I actually think it would be a very common fantasy for women, the whole two dudes.
Well, it's a threesome is the most common fantasy of for everybody out there.
Isn't
It's
a
the most.
threesome also the most like it's not what we think in our head? Isn't a threesome wait, I
Hold
hold on.
on. John's gotta clear his throat. Threesomes are they can be disappointing, and
Yes,
they require a lot of stuff, being
they're
able to
not the
stay.
fantasies that we imagine, usually.
Well,
That's what I
most
hear.
fantasies aren't. Most fantasies sometimes are best left as a fantasy.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
like don't meet your heroes.
Right. Right. The fantasy you have about the UPS guy is probably not gonna go the way that
It's
you
like
have in your head.
yeah, or it's like when you met me, you were disappointed.
That's are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, I've been like one of your heroes, I assume, for
No,
years, and
okay.
then
No, that wasn't true. I was, because you were because I had no expectation, you were so low that when I met you, it was nothing but gravy. It was a very
and that's how we should live life, low
it's
expectations.
0 expectations.
Well,
Um,
that my therapist would say that's an expectation. Um, I will say that, yeah, the threesome was fun, and it didn't make things weird.
so, is this something that you're interested in again? So if you were to have another one, would you prefer 2 women or 2 men?
100% 2 women, 'cause it's on my
Oh,
bucket list. It's on my bucket list.
okay. So you have done the 2 men, you have not done 2 women?
I've done 2 men twice.
Yeah, but not 2 women.
No.
Oh, interesting.
I know. Yes, people are surprised, but I also don't I kinda want it to happen organically, but I think that might be a bit of a pipe dream.
How
I think
does
I'm gonna
something like that happen organically?
I don't know,
Just
you're at a
hanging out with 2
party.
women and it's
Yeah,
like
you're at a party and one of her friends comes up to you and says like, "Hey, I think you're really cute. I have a proposition for you. My friend also thinks you're really cute." That's the
yeah,
fantasy.
yeah, it doesn't happen.
Hint, hint.
To anyone out there, um,
Anyone out there?
usually how threesomes happen is one person, the boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whoever, one person kind of arranges it almost like, "I know you have this fantasy, I'm gonna do it, and I wanna contribute, and it's gonna be hot." And they have to
Yeah,
set
what
it
about
up.
single people? Single people need threesomes too.
Yeah, but I mean, how often does that happen?
How often does it happen in a relationship?
You're right.
Not that
Not
often.
that often.
Not that
Yeah,
often.
and also
No.
a lot of times in relationships, they do it, and then it goes south, and then there's jealousy, and there's weirdness, and then it becomes this whole thing that they wish they never did, all that, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the fantasy's best left a fantasy.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, if you actually have had a fantasy play out and it went the other way and it was amazing and better than you expected, please call us and leave us a message.
657-549-1001. Actually, call us and leave us questions because we're running low in questions. 657-549-1001. Keep them to about a minute. Okay, so one thing real quick, John, we are not doing a retreat together.
Yes, we were going to, but we are not, well, we will again, we're just not right now.
The numbers weren't there.
We had, that weird kind of almost tipping point, and then we decided or I guess I decided, um, it's more responsible just to not let's refund people and do it again with more numbers before people start buying airplane tickets. That's where I
What
start to feel really bad.
Okay, what's so funny about this whole thing, yes, John's the one who kind of decided not to do it, but we were talking and he's like, "Hey, let's wait till Friday." This was like on a Tuesday. So wait till Friday. And I was like, okay. And then the next day he's like, yeah, I canceled everybody. And I was like, what happened to Friday? And he's like, well, I didn't want to. Just like he just started. I think you got like you really wanted to make sure people weren't going to buy their flights, and so you just
So if you look up Aries, like I looked you up, impulsive, impatient, something to struggle with. I make decisions, without, and so there was a lot of Aries energy in that for
yeah.
sure.
I will look you up for next week. We'll start with a little John's astrology.
Yeah, and it'll be more accurate because I'm willing to give away my birthday, time, location, all of it.
Keys to the castle.
Keys to the
So
castle.
since we're not doing a retreat, I am doing a retreat anyways. So if you still want to hang with me, you can hang with me at Kripalu in Western Massachusetts,
Oh,
June 20th, 21st, 22nd. I'm doing something called Love Camp. I've done a bunch of these in Sedona. This one's is going to be on the East Coast in summertime, which is kind of beautiful. And Kripalu is a yoga and wellness center, and it's kind of amazing. It's a really beautiful place.
awesome. You've done it there before.
I have not done it there before. It's actually kind of a bucket list place to teach. And so I've been to Kripalu several times for other people's retreats, meditation retreats. And it's a really beautiful space. We're going to learn, we're going to have fun. We're going to talk about emotional availability. We're going to connect, and we're going to have deepen our understanding and capacity for love.
Sean's very thorough and with his lessons, and he's also really great with activities, engagement. Also, just being an extrovert. He runs wonderful groups.
It's thank you, John. It's
Mhm.
a summer camp for adults about love.
That's very long.
It's a love. So it's a summer camp. It's an adult summer camp.
Okay,
See,
better.
that makes it sound like it's a sex camp.
It's not, but adult summer camp is better than it's a summer camp for adults about love.
Yeah, but adult summer camp really sounds like it's a nudist
Yeah,
weekend.
sounds fun. It sounds, and also
Really?
people who know you know what it is. So you
It's an
know,
adults only summer camp.
so that makes it very OnlyFans. Just say it's an adult summer camp.
All
That
right.
sounds fun and playful.
Anyways, June 20th, 21st, 22nd, link in the bio, in my bio on Instagram or in these show notes if you want to join us.
Yeah, awesome.
John, that was
Thank you
fun.
for listening. Be well.
Have a beautiful week.
Massage your face.
Massage your face.